Thank you for tuning into another edition of the Daily Scrum News. Reporting from Kandahar, Afghanistan, I'm Sophia Hadid. The United States government has been pressuring Pakistan to speak with the Taliban to organize a peace deal in Afghanistan. This comes after the negotiations between the Taliban and the Afghan government are leading only to more violence. Pakistan is considered only to be useful in the context of somehow settling this mess, Imran Khan shared Wednesday with foreign journalists at his home in Islamabad. It has been left behind after 20 years of trying to find the military solution when there was not one. With the United States military pulling its troops by August 31st from the nation, marking nearly 20 years since the terrorist attack in New York, violence has become rampant across the country. As of now, the Taliban has taken over more territory in Afghanistan than ever before. The Afghan and Western governments have said the Pakistani support the Taliban has received has further elevated their ability to take control of Afghanistan. Pakistan has denied their support of the Taliban. I think that the Americans have decided that India is their strategic partner now, and I think that's why there's a different way of treating Pakistan now, Khan stated. Pakistan and India have minimal diplomatic relations and have fought 3 wars since their separation in 1947. Pakistan Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry used his official Twitter account to share that the fault lay with the Afghan military for not being able to defend their nation. With the 8th province falling to the Taliban, people of Afghan and people of USA must question so-called leadership of Afghanistan. Where has the $2 trillion vanished that they received to build the Afghan National Army? How come all ministers and generals become billionaires but the people of Afghanistan are suffering from poverty? Who is responsible for this suffering? Corruption of leadership drowns the nation, and Afghanistan is an example of that, Chaudhry said. Khan further shared that when the Taliban leaders visited Pakistan, he tried to persuade them to reach a settlement, but the Taliban refused to negotiate with the Afghanistan government if Ashraf Ghani remains as president. The Taliban has expressed their discontent with Ghani and his government, accusing them of being U.S. puppets. Negotiations between the Taliban and the Afghan government, which started last September, have so far made no substantial progress. U.S. forces have used aid raids to support the Afghans against Taliban attacks, but this defense may not be offered after August 31st. Pakistan's PM, Imran Khan, has made it very clear to the United States that he does not welcome any American military bases in Pakistan, as Pakistan has also suffered immensely during the 20-year-long war in Afghanistan. We do not have the capacity to have any more fighting within our borders, any terrorism within our country. When we were in the height of that Afghanistan war on terror, which Pakistan joined, there were suicide bombs taking place all over the country. The businesses collapsed, tourism collapsed, so, what we do not want to be part of any conflict, Khan said. Pakistan is the second country in the world with the largest refugee population and shelters 1.4 million registered Afghans and another 1.5 million undocumented refugees. With more violence in Afghanistan, Pakistan's National Security Advisor Mohd Yusuf shared that we are not in the position to accept any more refugees. He then went on to say, "We are willing to help, but we are in no position to take in new refugees with time around. The international forces and the United Nations should make arrangements for them inside Afghanistan." With a population of 225 million, the World Bank has calculated that Pakistan's poverty rate is 39.3% and will steadily increase in the years to come. The Afghan government forces continue to fight with the Taliban, and the U.S. intelligence believes that the Taliban could possibly take over Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, within the next 90 days. So far, the Taliban have successfully taken control of 8 provincial capitals in less than a week and have discussed their pursuit of 3 additional capitals. Collectively, the Taliban have taken control of 2/3 of the nation. Currently, the U.S. government is aiding Afghan military forces against the Taliban, but as rural areas are more difficult to protect, all focus have been on Kabul and other cities. As a result, thousands of families have been forced to flee their home and camp in parks, abandoned warehouses and fields. The current Afghanistan government, backed by the U.S., have promised the Taliban a share in power so long as the violence in the nation stops. The United Nations have shared that more than 1,000 Afghan civilians have been killed just in the past month, and according to the International Committee of the Red Cross, since August 1, roughly 4,042 Afghan civilians have been wounded. They are currently being treated at 15 health facilities. Until we meet again, this is Sophia Hadid reporting to you from Kandahar, Afghanistan for the Daily Scrum News.